What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming at y'all again. This time is about Kristaps Porzingis, Jonathan Kuminga, and Buddy Hield all being moved. The Golden State Warriors basically traded Kuminga finally, which we was waiting for months ago, and they finally got the courage to give him up. And they ended up trading him and Buddy Hill, who has been hot and cold for them. He was just a guy that was going to come in and just get buckets for him whenever he could and just be a threat on the 3-point line. Obviously, Kuminga can hit threes from time to time. He can drive to the basket. He can get to the free throw line. He's a good transition player, a decent rebounder. And they just couldn't fit him in. They just couldn't, you know, get him to buy into what they're trying to do and how they're trying to accomplish whatever they're trying to do on both ends of the basketball court. And then, of course, you look at the fact that Porzingis has missed the entire season basically with an illness that we don't really know what happened to him. I'm a Celtics fan. He had the illness when he was with us, and he was missing games. He said he didn't feel right, and some stuff just was coming up too much, and he felt weak and stuff like that. And the Hawks still took a gamble on him, and they still try to see if they can get him in and he can change their team a little bit. Didn't really work out for them this season. They're a below 500 team, and he ain't played in a while. So it is an interesting move. Seeing Kuminga finally get what he wanted. He demanded a trade not that long ago, and they're finally saying, we'll let you free. You can finally go spread your wings and start something new somewhere else. And it makes sense for the Hawks to do it because they have a lot of young talent. They're trying to find a way to continue to win. I think Buddy Hill, even if he stays or not, he can be good for them because of his 3-point shooting and because he's a team player and he's a decent ball mover if he doesn't have a quality look. And he doesn't hurt your team because he's not on a crazy bad contract or a long-term contract that you're going to regret getting. And it just makes sense for them to get a quality player and a potential all-star caliber player, possibly with Jonathan Kuminga. I know some people think he's a bust. Some people think he's underrated. Some people think he has potential to be a star. Everybody feels some type about Kuminga, and he has a chance to play with Nickel and Jalen Johnson and Kongwu and Dyson Daniels and those guys and try to help them out and try to see what he can be and become with a young core that's looking really good as of right now since they're finally healthy and starting to play together. But Kuminga time with the Warriors finally is over. He won the championship, so he shouldn't be mad about that. He got paid this year. He has a chance to make even more money, depending if the Hawks want to pay a certain amount or they already negotiated a type of contract that both teams are really interested in signing before this trade was ever made. Usually it goes that way. He was drafted number 7. People forget that in only 2021. So he still is very, very young, and he still has a lot of upside and a lot of potential. The biggest problem with Golden State is they didn't really let him play that much. So we don't really know how good he will be. We just know when he did play, he averaged 16 points one season. Another season, he averaged 15 on decent efficiency. He showed that he can get numbers any given night. He can have big nights and he can have nights where he looks good. Obviously, he's only 23 years old. He's a legitimate 6'7", 225 pounds. And he still, want to go out there and show what he can do. He finally got a taker on a team that wasn't really in the conversation this summer, but now they ended up being the one that made the move to get him. And I think it should be fun seeing him spread his wings and fly a little bit. He's really been stuck for a while, and he's really just been trying to find a way to stay positive, him and his team, until a move was there to make sense for them and the Warriors. I still think the Warriors just was like, we just got to get rid of this guy. He's not happy. He's always taking the back seat. He's always trying to be as professional as he can. He already made it known that he doesn't want to be here. He already won with us anyway, and he didn't even play that much that year anyway either. But it's finally over. This is something that I'm happy for because we finally get to see Kuminga get what he wants. He did what the Warriors wanted for so many years. Now he can finally do and be the player that he wants to be. And that's the way you have to feel if you're a Kuminga fan or you're a Hawks fan. Obviously, when you look at Kristaps Porzingis, you just don't know what to expect from him anymore. Like, I don't know. He's either injured or he just not the same anymore. He always had that potential that you thought he would be a multiple time All-Star, because of his block ability, because the fact that he can hit a mid range, he can hit a three. He also is a tough rotational and help defender sometimes too. And if this illness can't be cured or it can't be fixed, we don't know what it is. Like I said, it's been going on for a long period of time. This could be the end of Porzingis because he is still young and he still is a guy that you would love to have as one of your bigs. But if he can't get on the court and he can't play, teams are going to look at it like, what is he really adding? If he can't play, we don't need you. You know what I mean? And since he is almost out of his contract, teams are going to do a lot of things to make sure he can be able to be on the court. If he can't pass those tests, if he can't do those things, teams are not going to give him a contract. I love Porzingis. I was happy that he was on the Celtics. I like when we got him and we did win a championship with him. But at the same time, if the dude can't play, I'm not trying to give you $100 million. I'm not trying to give you $30 million a season if you're just going to be a 20, 30 game player. He's not even that anymore. So it does get to a point where this has to be fixed for him. Him and his team is going to have to find a way to get him healthy. And if they don't, his career can just be over because of this illness and the injuries that he sustained throughout his career. But I do like him. I do hope that he can get healthy. I do hope that he can get back on the court because I like how he plays. I like his game. And I like that he's a two-way player. But I also wanted to say that Trace Jackson Davis is getting traded to the Toronto Raptors for a 2026 second round pick via the Los Angeles Lakers. We know that the Raptors was looking for a big because they've been having problems with Jakob Poeltl staying on the court. And obviously they still want size and they still want somebody that can hold down the paint. And it does make a lot of sense for them to try to get the best one without committing too much money to that position. And on top of that, you didn't have to give up too much to get them anyway. And that's another thing you have to look at too. Um, I'm still looking at this Porzingis thing. I'm looking at it. He did get off to a good start, average at 19 points in the first 13 games with the Hawks. But it just all collapsed after that. It's just sad to see it. Other than that, I think that this was a good move. We just have to see how things play out for everybody that's involved in this. This is how trades always are. This is how trades always going to be. You get excited to get a player. You get excited to see what the player can do for you, to see if he can change some things or adjust to what you do on the fly and help you win games and get to a higher potential that you didn't have before. Obviously, the Warriors are looking at it like Porzingis can't play. We're just going to get rid of him. We're just going to use the money and go in a different direction. It sucks for them because obviously they lost Jimmy Butler, who was a big part of what they do, and he's not going to play for the rest of the season. So it's looking like we're going to try to go for the play-in. If we win it, we're going to compete for what we have. If not, there still is a season where we salvaged it as best as we could, and we're in a tough situation because of that. Like you said, Buddy Hield, he was a fun, entertainment person with Jimmy Butler. They always cracked jokes. They always enjoyed each other's company, and it was a good thing to see. But at the same time, it's about winning games. And Jimmy Butler, he came to the Golden State Warriors because he felt like not only could they pay me, we can win a championship. They ain't winning no championship this year, I can tell you that much. And it sucks if you're a Warrior fan, of course, but at the same time, it's hard to win one anyway. And the Warriors was looking like they wasn't going to win one regardless. They was looking like a team that needed to make another move, even if it was using Kuminga to make it, to be able to see if that can save their season and give them a second life to try to win one by the end of the year, but that still seemed kind of difficult to do. And it did make sense to try to use Kuminga as that chip. Now they put all their cards on the board basically and said, this is what we are. This is how we're going to be. We have to accept it. We have to play with what we have and grind it out. And that's what they're going to have to do. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell to get the analysis when it first come out. Y'all stay blessed up, though. Y'all stay good. Peace. I got more games that I'm watching tonight, so watch out for that instant analysis before you go to sleep, because I got some more to come out before the night is over. So other than that, y'all keep checking out for the content.